Some of you that are new, so that's great for Nuskin, but I want to know, what about me? What about now? Why would I do this? Okay, you've heard a lot about anti-aging. You've heard a lot about various things. There's a huge movement out there. Okay, when you talk about anti-aging, health and wellness, technology and communication, all of these things have evolved to a point where this type of business becomes a very mainstream thing. We've got a lot of Facebook Lives going on right now. In fact, there's one going on with One Team Global where this stuff is live. There's people all over the world seeing this information right now. Okay, so that speeds the process up. That gives us the ability to spread the word very quickly. Gives us an opportunity to move faster than we've ever moved before. Supplementary income. I mean, what's been happening, at least in this country, and I would say on a global scale, people are forced to have an additional, income stream in their household. Is that true? Yeah. It's tough to do it on one anymore. Okay, and so there's this need for that to happen, and the truth of the matter is people are living longer. And so if you're, looking to depend on Social Security when the time comes, I don't think they counted on people living longer and depleting the Social Security system. And so you and I are going to probably go without and be cut down quite a bit because the thing's going to go broke. The numbers just don't jive. And so we've got to have the ability to create some other form of income where you don't have to go out there and dig ditches yourself. Okay, because you don't want to do that when you're an old person. Okay, but you can talk, right? You can open your mouth. It's a lot easier than digging a ditch. Okay, and that's what we're talking about. So you want to plan ahead. Because these are things you can't control. You can't control what I just described to you. You can control how you respond to it. And that's what we're about. Okay, we're kind of evading the obvious stuff that's coming forward. Now, you take a look at this. How many of you guys have been to Provo, Utah? Can I see your hands? Okay, this is a shot of the Innovation Center. And $100 million, okay, to build that thing, and they innovate. These guys make stuff other people don't have, all right? And the great thing about that is it makes our story, really impeccable. It makes it really foolproof, because you can't shoot holes in what we do. And they go out there and they engineer things. The facial spa, and again, I'm just going to touch on some of these things. I want to get to the meat of why we're here. We've sold millions of those. It's called a wrinkle iron. And they're really just about a 10-minute half-face demonstration. You do it on half of the face, the person looks like you've rolled 10 years off of their looks. And obviously we do half for a reason. Because if you did the whole face, they think they always look that good. All right? They want the other half, and then they buy the device. Okay? Demonstratable stuff. The biophotonic scanner. Only device in the world where in just seconds we can tell you if the food you're eating or the supplements you're taking are actually delivering nutrition to the cells to protect them from oxidation. Okay? Oxidation in your body causes aging to accelerate. If you can stabilize or cut that down, then you look better, you feel better. And that's what this does. Okay, you get on our products, we'll measure you before that, we'll measure you after you've been on them a while. If your number doesn't go up, a higher number means you have higher protection. If your number doesn't go up, we'll give you your money back to the product. Nobody does that, but we do. Okay, so we've really created a situation here where, our name and quality and reputation is the top of the heap. There's just no doubt about it. We are the gold standard in the industry. You look at age lock, and many of you have already heard kind of the description of what that is, but really it works with gene expression. Okay, and here's the deal. Inside our bodies, our genes behave when we're younger as a young person. As we get older, they behave like an older person. In other words, if we had a heat map, and I could show you the genes of a 20-year-old and the genes of a 50-year-old, the coloration on that would be completely flip-flop. And that coloration is the vibration of the expression of those genes. So it's completely flip-flop. Well, if you take that and then you inject the age lock mechanism that we have, that by the way is patented, you'll see it reverse the color so the genes behave the way they did when you were younger. The end result is people look younger. And I talked about this yesterday in San Diego. Some of you guys, I've been around you for 20 or 30 years in the business. And it's interesting because I look at some of these people and I see the faces in the crowd, and they don't look that much older than they did 20 or 30 years ago. But it's funny, I'll bump into guys I went to high school with, and it'll be like, holy crap, have you been sick? Did something happen? Were you in an accident? It's like not even the same deal. You can't tell me this stuff doesn't work. From a genetic level, from a scientific level, we could go on days and days, but the result is in how people look and how they feel. And so it's a $5 billion brand. You've kind of seen this trail of innovation. Okay, we've gone out there and we just hit home run after home run after home run. So we're a $2.5 billion, company in a huge market. Now, I want you guys to understand the skincare industry has been around longer than you and I have been alive. And giant companies control most of it. But we've carved out a niche in it where we're at $2.5 billion strong, because instead of putting all of the money into the bottles and into the advertising, we gave the advertising to people like you and I, attractive bottles but not expensive, and put the money inside the product. And the product delivered, and people look better. And we've carved a niche out in an industry that was basically owned by some giants. And here we sit today. And with the innovation of me, we're going to absolutely turn it upside down. That's why if you're new here today, you want to be here. We're going to talk more about it. Okay, so you look at ageLOC U. How many of you guys have used this product? Okay, I'm not going to go into detail here because we're here to kind of talk about the current thing, but this is the best supplement on the planet. There's just no doubt about it. When I went through a stressful time this last couple of years, that was my mainstay. That kept me in the game. That kept me where I needed to be viable as an individual. And many of you have experienced the same thing. Okay, inflammation is a big deal as far as your health goes. This helps to keep inflammation down, all kinds of things that will actually benefit all aspects of your body. Okay, so when you talk about ageLOC Me, again, Janelle talked in some detail about this, so I'm not going to be redundant here. Okay, but just understand, this is years in the process. $40 million of investment. Now think about this for a minute, you guys. You and I are independent contractors. What we're doing here, some of us are already involved, we're partners with Nuskin. We're suggesting you do the same thing. And the great thing is those guys have all the risk. They are the ones that invested the $40 million to develop this thing. Not us. Them. You know, they looked and said, hey, how could we service the needs in the marketplace? And they came up with the fact they needed 300 different products to do that. Clearly, you can't do that. But if you can create a device that can mix these products together on contact, personalize them, and as Janelle said, with some ingredients you could not put in a jar and put it on the shelf, but instantaneous, it goes in your hand, and the absorption goes up with the microlayering, and all this stuff happens, and the difference is how people look and how their skin feels. Immediately, they start to chat. What does the competition have? They have a one-size-fits-all, which means one size fits no one, right? That's what it means. One choice or 2,000 options. What do you think's better? Nobody has this but us. Okay? Now what's the significance of that? Let's talk about this for a minute. What you've got is a skincare industry that hasn't innovated in 100 years. And we come in with a delivery system that is unfair. Okay? It's patented. No one else can do it. Now, what does that do for us? Well, let's just analyze a few things here for just a second. How many of you are familiar with inkjet printers? You all have them probably, right? Let's pretend like I rolled the clock back 20 years ago, and I come in here and I said, hey, you guys, look, I've got something that I want to cut you in on. We're going to distribute these devices in the homes of everybody in this world, and it's going to increase the productivity. It's going to change their life, and they're not going to want to be without this device. It's called an inkjet printer, and it's going to be for the mass markets. They're going to be in every home in this world, and it's not about that printer. What it's about is the ink inside, okay? And when I talk about the ink inside, this is the cartridges. What does that look like? Okay, it's not about the device itself with these inkjet printers. It's about the fact that to make the unit viable, they have to keep buying the ink from us. Would you do it? Some of you would have, some of you wouldn't. But in retrospect, I hope you would, because HP, 40% of all their revenue is in ink. 40% of the revenue is ink. Clearly, it's about the ink. Same strategy here. That's what we're doing. Okay? Curry coffee. They've changed the way the coffee is brewed in the home. Coffee has been around forever, has it not? Absolutely. Why would you compete in that industry? A delivery system that doesn't exist. And it's not even about the device, it's about the K-cups, as billions of them are sold on auto delivery. Would you have gone back and done that deal if you could be cut in on the distribution? I hope you would. See, existing industries in the case of coffee, that have been turned upside down. Okay, a whole new mechanism. As I describe some things you hear tonight, I want you to think of a term called operating in the gap. Business in the gap. Because if you operate in the gap, there's huge amounts of wealth that are just waiting to be taken. Okay? But you have to be visionary. All right? As I'm describing you here tonight, when I said, remember this day, this is flashpoint. When you look at the general population, everybody, there's about 16 to 18% of the population base that are considered innovators and early adopters. Those are the visionaries that exist in a marketplace. And those are the people that make everything happen in everything. Not just Nuskin, but any business, any movement, anything out there. The other 80% of the people follow suit after a period of time. We're in a juncture right now where if you're a visionary, and if you're not, you can become one really quick. You have a chance in your lifetime to do something significant. Yes, there's money involved, but I'm talking about a movement that's going to change a lot of lives, around the world. That's where we're at right now. That's the juncture we're at. That's the foundation that we're at. And those people that respond right now in the movement with age like me are not only have an impact on the world, they're going to have financial impact, provided they're willing to do the work that is required of them to be successful to get where they need to go. Okay? I'm not sure what's going on with our slides. Let me just back up a minute. We probably, it doesn't matter. This basically just shows you where Nuskin's concerned. And you've already heard, as you know, this company is recognized globally by all kinds of different organizations and people. And you know what? We're just one of the best run, well-managed companies in the world today in any industry. Okay, so if you're going to pick a partner, these are your guys. These are the guys that watch your back. They're the ones that do everything you don't want to do. Because this is a business. They do everything that we don't want to do. I don't want to ship the stuff. I don't want to handle the product. I don't want to do research and development. I don't want to have employees. I don't want to cut the checks. I don't want to have janitors and employees and everyone's lives to worry about. I want to go out and talk to people about changing their life and let them handle all the rest. If that sounds attractive to you, this is your business. Okay? We have all the best stuff in the field, and they handle everything else for us. It's awesome. Okay? And we basically split the profits down the middle. They get about half, we get half. Okay? That funds our marketing plan. So it's a great deal for us. All right? Now, this form of distribution, for some of you that aren't familiar with it, is really simple. We don't have all kinds of middlemen that normal traditional distribution has. There on the left, you have Nuskin. They're the guys with the product. It's got to get to the market. It doesn't go to anyone in the market where it doesn't go through people like you and I. We're the distribution channel. And so what this is about, you guys, what I want you to think about as I'm describing this to you tonight. Nuskin is currently doing about $2.5 billion in sales. We're going to $10 billion. And we're going to go there really quick. In about the next 7 to 8 years, you're going to see this rocket just boom like that. And that's great for Nuskin. But the question you need to ask yourself is, what's in it for me? What's in it for you is you want to carve a footprint. That footprint is you, people you know, customers, distributors alike, and that footprint is what services the marketplace. That's what moves product from point A to point B. The bigger the footprint, the bigger the distribution. You guys get that? And so you want to be involved as this is expanding out. Because I'm here to tell you, the guy doesn't make the deal, or the gal doesn't make the deal makes them. If they're willing to exercise energy in the window. All right? And so you use that energy to move you forward. You look at compensation. Now this isn't conjecture or projections. This is actual dollars. And what I want to just do here is have you think conceptually. If you're new here tonight, okay, we're a month in. What that means is, as you get ready to go, we're going to turn you over to whoever invited you here, and then we're going to show you how to get started. I recommend you get in qualification to become an executive, because that's where you start to see some money. That's where you see hundreds of dollars a month. There isn't anyone out there that a household doesn't have an impact, but they're making an extra $400 to $500 a month. You guys agree? Another $500 a month in any household sometimes means the difference between bankruptcy and being viable. And so that's where you start to see that on an ongoing basis. So you want to get to an executive position. Once you do that, you just develop executives. You continue to share this vision. It's about painting the picture I'm describing to you. As you do that, there's a middle part right there you can see where people are making about $30,000 a year on average. That thing's called Ruby. The cool thing about that, you get to that point, they'll actually send you on a trip that I'll talk about in just a second. All expenses paid. It's about a $10,000 trip for you and your partner. All right? When you get to that point, then you want to just develop 4 more, become a diamond. Okay, those guys are averaging over $100,000 a year. Significant money, and it's different than earned income. Anyone I know that makes $100,000 a year in the real world works their butt off. And it's dang hard. And anybody that pays you $100,000 a year wants a pound of flesh from you. They want you to work night and day to get that money. Is that true? It's true. You're going to have to work hard here too. But the delivery of that income at some point is different. Because you decide how you want to spend your time. You decide what it is you're going to do at a certain point. You're going to have to work your tail off, but at some point it's not about you any longer. Once you get to that blue diamond position at the top of the scale, these guys average $45,000 to $50,000 a year, or excuse me, a month of income. And that's pretty cool because it's income like you've never seen before. I know people in real estate that make that kind of money, and they're non-stop real estate guys. Their phones are always going off, they're always on call, they're always running here or there. They're like a rat on a treadmill to make that kind of money. Here, I look at people in that position, and man, it's almost like they're calm, you know, they're just mellow. It kind of makes me mad, really. It's just like, man, you're drunk with cash, something's wrong with you. You know, get some energy back. We're coming on a window, okay? There'll be some people who won't catch our opportunity that have made so much money they just can't get off the couch. And those of you that do, that's good for you. Okay? The point I'm making is you can change your life here. Is it an effort? Yeah, it's an effort. Is it worth it? You better believe it's worth it. All right? Iceland. We're qualifying right now to the end of March. Okay? If you're a new person right now, by the end of March, okay, essentially, if you can become a Ruby by the end of March, which I've seen people become a Ruby in just a month or two, you're going on a trip to Iceland. How many of you guys been to Iceland? All of you. Nobody's been there. Well, you're going. You and your partner. Free. They're going to pay for it. Okay? Where are we going here in the next little bit, guys? What's the other trip? Panama. How many of you guys have been to Panama? Oh, 1 or 2. Well, hey, there's people going to Panama, it's all paid for. Okay? These are cool places. Cool places, they pay for it. And the great thing about that, it's just a side thing. I look at it, it's like Nuskin's coming to me and saying, yeah, we're going to fund your business. We're going to pay guys $10,000 trips if they want to go out and just do what they need to do anyway, and that is make money. We're going to send it. No, not coming out of your pocket, we're going to pay it. This is an unbelievable company, guys. Unbelievable. From a compensation standpoint, you might say, okay, well, there's probably just a few people that have made a lot of money. We have over 1,200, agreements. That would be, either just an individual, if you're an individual working the business, or maybe a spouse, or maybe just a couple of partners. 1,200 agreements that have made $1 million or more. And we add every 3 days a new one. And that's accelerating. We're at a point right now, you guys, we're going to change so many lives, it is going to freak you out. You want to be part of it. You want to have a footprint in place. You want to be participating at a level where you're caught up in that energy, where you're caught up in what you're seeing here today. All right, now let's talk about timing for just a second. The best way to do that, instead of just hitting numbers, I already talked about 10 billion. Let's talk about entry points. Because if you're new here tonight, I've just given you some background information. You're saying, okay, that sounds great. Nuskin's a great company. I get it. But what about me? I've been doing this almost 30 years. What I've seen in the course of 30 years is I've seen these windows open up, or these entry points. Imagine we're going down a huge freeway, and all of a sudden a new on-ramp pops open. Okay, maybe it's a new country, maybe it's a new product, maybe it's a new initiative, and all of a sudden it creates a market or a demand for something that wasn't there prior, and everyone floods in, and the business expands out. Okay, and I've seen that happen all along the way where people have come in and they've carved out huge footprints for themselves and changed their life. And it's happened all along the journey. This is going to be the biggest on-ramp I think we've ever seen, certainly me. Okay? And when you look at these on-ramps, I talked about they come in different, things like different countries. We've got a few Vietnamese. If you're Vietnamese, raise your hand. Okay, now, let me tell you something. It wasn't like all of a sudden all the Vietnamese decided, I think we're going to do Nuskin. Okay, they came into the business because we were opening what? Vietnam. Boom, whole other market of people. Okay, the Bible came in, ready to go. We open India in a few years. Guess what? You'll see a whole bunch of Indians here. Why? Because all the Indians decided to do this? No, because there's an inroad, there's an entry point that pops open. So you got to be ready to see these entry points and capture. Now, why is this such a big difference? Listen closely, because this is why I'm here tonight. I did not fly here to hang out at the beach. Okay? I did not come here for leisure. I came here because I needed to deliver a message to you. And that is, we're going to explode. We're already in motion. Okay, and here's what's going on. Everybody in this room remembers the day. There's not a time you can remember when you couldn't pick up a phone and dial someone, true? The phone industry has been around since you've been alive. I remember when I was a kid, I could pick up the phone, dial grandma. Okay, and it was a rotary phone with a hard landline, and I talked to grandma. That was great, right? Didn't have to go see her. I could talk to her on the phone. That market was over. It was done. Big guys monopolized it. People like you and I got shut out of the profits. We just paid into it, true? And everyone has a phone. Well, you look at that and you say, hey, that market's done. Move on to something else because phone communication's over with. I'm here to tell you, everything that can possibly be created in this world is already here. It's already here. Someone doesn't beam it down from outer space and then there's an opportunity. It's here. But a visionary sees something. A visionary looks at the gaps and says, what about that gap? What if? Some of the biggest companies in the world that didn't exist when rotary telephones were around exist today. Guys like Apple. Because Steve Jobs had a vision. And the gap between rotary phones and smartphones, that gap, you exploit that and you change lives. You exploit that gap and you create fortunes. And it has nothing to do with the person.